I now give the floor to the representative of Somalia.
Thank you, Mr. President. On this 10,000th meeting of the Security Council, we are reminded of the immense responsibility and the solemn promise carried by this body. 10,000 times the world has looked into this chamber for a leadership, for conscience, and for a hope. Today, as we confront the tragedy unfolding in Gaza, that responsibility weighs heavier than ever. We have voted in favor of this draft resolution today because the situation in Gaza is urgent and needs an immediate attention. As we speak, the IDF military operation is expanding rapidly. An unprecedented famine, humanitarian catastrophe, and unfolding before our own eyes by the hour, compounding the suffering of civilians, mainly women and children. The world looks to this Council for action. Yet today, we have failed to adopt a resolution safeguarding the basic rights of Gaza's people. This is not just a procedural lapse, but a profound moral failing. The draft E10 resolution is grounded in the very language and the spirit of United Nations Charter, reaffirming the principles we have all pledged to uphold. It called for what should be a foundational minimum, namely an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, the release of all hostages, the unembedded flow of humanitarian aid, and respect for the international law by all parties. And yet, time and again, this Council has been blocked from action, invoking sometimes explicit, more often unspoken, of dangerous language and dangerous logic, that the suffering of some is more tolerable than the suffering of others, and that the lives of certain people matter less. It's a notion that has stained our history before, and it's one we must reject utterly. The moment we begin to measure the worth of human life by nationality, ethnicity, or circumstances, we lose the very foundation upon which this institution was built. The world is not watching. Every delay, every evocation signals to those under siege that their pain is negotiable, their rights conditional, their lives expendable. We cannot allow the logic of lesser lives to take root here in this United Nations Security Council. If we do, we not only fail the people of Gaza, we fail ourselves and the ideals of the founding values of United Nations and the overwhelming consensus of the international community. I thank all members who voted in favor of the resolution. Your support is a beacon of hope and reaffirmation of our shared commitment to peace and human dignity. To my colleagues in the E10, our work is far from over. We remain steadfast in our mission to end Palestinian suffering and advance just and lasting peace in the Middle East. There is no doubt that the foundation of peace in the Middle East is to address the root causes of this ongoing crisis and that underlies in the occupation itself, now in its 5th decade. Somalia reaffirms its steadfast support for the Palestinian people and their legitimate right for self-determination, and the return and establishment of independent, sovereign state with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. Our delegation reiterates its call for an end to the occupation and an immediate permanent ceasefire, the release of all arbitrary detainees, and urgent resumption of credible and inclusive political process under the international auspices. We recognize and support the ongoing ceasefire efforts led by Qatar Egypt, and United States, and look toward an upcoming two-state solution conference in the General Assembly next week with hope and determination. We urge all member states to approach that conference with a spirit of responsibility and genuine commitment to just and comprehensive peace in the Middle East. Somalia remains committed to the pursuit of just and lasting peace in accordance with the principles of United Nations Charter to bring to an end to the prolonged suffering of the occupied Palestinian territory and the wider region. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of Somalia for the statement. I now give the floor to the representative of Pakistan.